thank you. In addition to my children, you're my legacy. Thank you. In 1975, I was only a boy. And a few other things. Canadian wines only had labels like Bright's and Andres. Inniskillin didn't release its first vintage until a month after our first tasting. To my knowledge, there were no wine courses in 1975. To my knowledge, there was no Canadian wine magazine, although one was just starting at that time. There was no non-commercial wine club. The International Wine and Food Society had started a few years earlier, as well as the Convery, the Chaîne de Rotisseurs. I say that better before I came. Also, 1975, on the plus side, was a city that was benefiting from immigration. There was a lot of interest in good foods and fine restaurants. In spite of recent rumors, we did have a major restaurant revolution through the 60s and 70s. There was at least one wine column in the Toronto Star. There was a thirst for wine and food knowledge. And this is one that I think you'll appreciate or wish you'd been born when I was born. The 1975 futures were $135 a case for Chateau Latour, $156 for Chateau Lafite, and $60 for Pichon Lalande, and $77 for Palmer. That was the market in October of 1976 for 75 futures. A bit of the history of the club. In 1973, I joined the Vintage Club in San Francisco and was sure there had to be a club like that in Toronto. The Toronto Star wine columnist, Bob Pennington, wrote a column about me in my search for a club. And he ended by asking anyone interested in such a club to call me at Hunt Personnel. We only had 6 incoming lines at the time, and the wine calls shut down our switchboard for over a week. We had 400 calls, and everybody wanted to talk. I planned the first tasting of Bordeaux on pure speculation. I just decided we had to do something. So I rented the ballroom of the Hyatt Yorkville, which is now the Four Seasons Hotel, and we had 150 people at the first tasting. I tried again in August, and 160 people came. The helpers became the executive, and the club was officially launched. And we were so successful that we had to turn people away. Every tasting was a waiting list. As a result, we helped several other wine clubs to form, including what is now known as the Wine Tasters, the Society for American Wines, and most of the wine clubs have used the format that we started with. I want to share with you a part of a talk that I gave in 1975 at the first tasting. I'm moving into a condominium shortly, and you know that I'm a pack rat, but I still have notes from 1975, so throwing away is difficult. This is almost a quote from my 1975 talk at the first tasting. The concept of the tastings is a serious approach to learning about wines and developing your palate. It's learning by doing. For example, you can't learn to drive a car just by reading books. You must drive. You can't learn to make love by reading books. You must practice. There are many wine books and many wine experts to tell you what to look for, but you must drink a lot of wines before you really learn. The aims of the group in 1975, I'm still quoting, to learn wine appreciation by direct comparison blind, to provide an opportunity to compare your results and discuss them with a compatible group, to learn what you think are good values, and to have no commercial ties and no importing or selling of wines. And a few other thoughts in 1975. I'm not going to tell you about the wines. Several of you could tell me. Wine is a very personal thing. Some people will never know why some wines are expensive or appreciated. And don't be intimidated. Enjoy. Few things are worse than a wine snob. I overheard at the tutorial table tonight that there is no right or wrong, and this was exactly the message back then. It's what you like and what you're going to buy.